Dr. Mohammed Amjad Saqib is the founder and chairman of Akhuwat, the world's largest interest-free microfinance program, helping more than 3.5 million low-income families in Pakistan to date. Dr. Saqib has received worldwide recognition, including the Ramon Magsaysay Award 2021, popularly known as Asia's Nobel Prize, for his remarkable achievements in restoring human dignity to Pakistan's most vulnerable communities. He is also an acclaimed author and speaker at international forums and prestigious institutions.
We can't change this world unless we change our thinking. So I'm talking about the second part. I'm sharing a story which is which reflects a different mindset, which tells that there are many ways to do something, but what is the best way? So this is a story which is different from the conventional wisdom, because it believes in sharing, it believes in giving, and it believes in providing opportunities to the less advantaged people. So the title of the story is Akhuwat, and it started in 2001 in Pakistan. What do we do? Obviously, the most important and the critical issue is poverty. How do we alleviate poverty? There are many ways. But we do it through interest-free microfinance, to start a small business for the poor people, to earn a livelihood and then feed their family and send their children to school. The second thing is interest-free loans for higher education. Because primary education or secondary education is almost free in Pakistan, like many other countries. But the real issue is how the brilliant boys and girls will be able to get tertiary education, university education, because they don't have the resources. And as Professor Dr. Morris has said, that we need to move forward from surviving to thriving. Surviving, we ensure through providing microfinance so that people can have something to eat. That is fighting against poverty at the lowest level. But ultimate ideal and the objective is, our march from surviving to thriving. And thriving we will achieve, inshallah, by the passage of time, through providing tertiary education to the brilliant young men and women, because they will be the people who will create a new world for all of us. So there will be two parts of my presentation. And what is microfinance? I'm sure all of us know it is the provision of credit, savings, insurance, and leasing to the poor people without physical collateral. Because in this world, the financial system requires some collateral, physical collateral, tangible. But the poor people don't have any physical collateral. So this is a creative approach, microfinance, through which we provide these resources without any collateral. And why microcredit or microfinance? Poverty alleviation, improving the quality of life, social development, especially women empowerment, self-employment. And one of the most important quotations I have read recently is, credit is a basic human right. Financial access is a basic human right. Why we deny the poorest of the poor from this basic right? What is the challenge? Microcredit Summit was held in Canada in 2007. Participants representing more than 100 countries attended this great event, and they showed commitment to extend microfinance services to 1 billion bottom poor. This 1 billion bottom poor has now increased to maybe 1.5 or 2 billion by 2015, and it is 2025. This target has not been achieved so far. Over and above, we have also established Sustainable Development Goals, 17 Sustainable Development Goals, end of hunger, end of discrimination, gender equality, education, clean drinking water, then economic prosperity, then sending children to school, good health, and environment. So we are not talking about those sustainable development goals who are really haunting us, that when we will be able to provide all these facilities to the poor and the most marginalized and disadvantaged. So this is the challenge. Now coming back to microfinance. Microfinance, as I mentioned, is one of the most critical and important strategies for poverty alleviation, because microfinance, increases the access of the poor people to start a small business. So there are critical issues. The highest cost, 25% to 60%. What a pity that a person who is rich and he wants to buy a Mercedes car or BMW, he goes to the bank and gets a loan at a rate of 5%, 8%, 10%, 12%. But a poorest of the poor, who has to earn livelihood for his or her family, is getting loan at a rate of 25 to 60%. What kind of world and what kind of financial system who has created? Let me say it again, that it is all outcome of the thinking, and now is the time to change that thinking. Thank you very much, Auntie Catherine. You have given me the best, lesson and message that this world is obviously the outcome of our thinking. And if we want to change this world, we need to change our thinking. Then interest-based lending. In all Abrahamic religions, interest is forbidden. So we are forcing people to indulge in interest-based lending, which is against their faith and their culture and their tradition and their history. Then there are some other reasons. The loans only given to women. Why men? Why not men? Obviously, the priority may be given to the women, but why not? Why we are depriving the male? Then the product is not suited to the borrower's needs. Focus on organizational sustainability. This is very important, because people say that if an organization is sustainable, only then it could serve the poor people for a longer time. So the objective is not the poor person. The objective is a sustainable organization. But we believe in another way. We say that if our client is sustainable, then he will make the organization sustainable himself or herself. And most of the NGOs have been converted into banks. The microfinance was started by not-for-profit organizations. They wanted to serve the poor people. But gradually, it has been taken over by the capitalistic mindset, the market economy. And now the banks say, most of the NGOs have been converted into banks. And the bank, by definition, is a profit-seeking institution. And they say that microfinance is a business. Microfinance is an industry. But we believe that we cannot eliminate poverty if we do business with the poor people. Poor people need friendship, solidarity, love, and care. So if we start doing business with the poor people, forget about it. We cannot eliminate poverty. So for the first part, as I mentioned, that small loans will be the first part. Very briefly, I will touch upon these. And the second part of my presentation will be, we will be talking about tertiary education. So the vision is a poverty-free society built on principles of compassion and equity. And the mission is to alleviate poverty by empowering socially and economically marginalized families, by providing them with free microfinance, and by harnessing their entrepreneurial potential, building their capacity, social guidance, and also providing them education. But before I move further, I would like to tell you that where does this vision come from? And this is the philosophy which makes us, which gives us strength to implement our vision. And that is an Arabic word, mawakhat, which means solidarity. Solidarity means friendship between haves and have-nots. And this concept was given to us by Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, because he believed in developing a mutual support system if we want to change a society. So the bond of brotherhood or sisterhood and solidarity between haves and have-nots is the real fountain of inspiration for all of us. Very briefly, I will explain the principles, the process, the features, and the progress which we have made so far. Principles is a purely a non-political program. We derive inspiration from Islamic spirit of faith, Islamic spirit of solidarity with the poor, but we are serving all religions, absolutely no discrimination with reference to caste, color, creed. So it's a non-sectarian program, and we focus on the poorest of the poor, because that is our ultimate objective, to bring them at par with the haves. No gender discrimination. And we use indigenous institutions like mosques, churches, temples to, whenever we start a dialogue with a poor community, we invite them to come to the local religious institution. Maybe it is temple, maybe it is church, maybe it is a mosque. Because we believe that these religious centers are, seat of good governance, participation, rule of law, transparency, and accountability. So we want to utilize in a religious society like Pakistan, where faith plays a very critical role in people's life. We have started, this is another innovation, that development must begin from religious places as well. Religious places are not only for saying prayers. These should be utilized for education, for healthcare, for communication, for dialogue, for engaging with the people and making them aware of their rights. Volunteerism is very, salient feature of our and principle, because we believe that a good institution, a community-based or civil society organization should be a combination of necessary compensation and volunteerism. At the grassroots, we need employees with good salary, but at the top, we need volunteers. So that will bring the cost down, make the institution more efficient, and that is also a way to tell the people that how people who have achieved something in their lives would be willing to share whatever resources they have. And reliance is on civil society. We don't seek support from the state, because state is doing whatever it can do. But we believe that this is our individual responsibility and the responsibility of the whole society, that how can we, all work together and help the poor. Yeah, the process. We have created this central box you're seeing. This is a revolving fund. That means that we need funds. We don't get these funds from the banks, because whenever we get our funds from the bank, it will have financial cost. So through public sector, through corporate social responsibility, through civil society, through international donors, through individuals who believe in giving and sharing. Let me explain here again that and reiterate that the entire philosophy of this program is built on the spirit of giving. So we inspire people, motivate people that whatever they have, they are bound to share part of it with the less advantaged. So whatever we get from them, 10% of that is utilized as operational expense, and 90% goes to the fund, which is used to give loan to somebody who is economically active and who is poor. So then, as you see, that this central box, Akhuwat microfinance operations, the disbursement of loans to the beneficiaries, then they pay it back, and the amount which comes back from the borrowers again goes to that revolving fund. And you will be amazed to know that our recovery percentage at this point of time is 99.9%. We started this program with just $100, because the first loan was of $100 given to a women to purchase 2 sewing machines. She purchased 2 sewing machines, worked hard, provided livelihood to her family, and then after 6 months, she returned the loan. So then the whole system we established, and by now, starting from $100, we have been able to disperse 1.6 billion US dollars, and the recovery percentage is 99.9%. That speaks of the credit worthiness, of our bank worthiness, of trustworthiness of our borrowers. So the point here is that if you love people, if you show solidarity, if you give them self-respect, if you say that we are here to serve you, we are not here to, overwhelm you by the high rate of interest. We are not doing business with you. We share whatever resources we have. So that creates an environment where the poor people become so responsive and so responsible that not only they start their own businesses, start earning money, but they return the money at a rate of 99.9%. So imagine a society where 4 million families have been given these interest-free loans, and the people have not only started coming out of poverty, but they are also, this is a proxy indicator of the success of their businesses. Because had they collapsed in their businesses, how would they have given the this recovery at this phenomenal rate? Salient features, as I mentioned, that all the loans which are given, these are without interest, and we utilize religious places for this financial and social intermediation. Then the spirit of volunteerism. Absolutely, there is no discrimination on the basis of caste, color, religion, or any other sect. Inclusive approach. There are many marginalized families throughout the country, and we bring them within the circle, and especially the transgender and the rural areas and the far-flung, hilly areas. And reciprocity. This is extremely important. When we give a loan to somebody, we tell them that, look, you are part of now Akhuwat family, you are part of our extended family, and we have served you not only by establishing a bond of love with you, but also providing you this interest-free loan. So somebody has developed a relationship with you. Now, if you come out of poverty by dint of your hard work and by this financial inclusion, then this is your responsibility to serve somebody else. Instead of a vicious cycle, we are trying to create a virtuous cycle. So this is extremely, very forceful message that makes them think that if somebody who doesn't know me knocks at my door and presents me this money while saying that I'm your brother or you're my sister, take this money. We will not charge you any interest. Start a business. Don't beg. Don't depend on charity or doles. So now, once you are out of this miserable condition, out of the quagmire of poverty or abject poverty, then you must decide that why don't you give somebody else this opportunity? So you will be again surprised to know that not only 99.9% is the recovery percentage of these loans, but 60% of our borrowers, despite being still in poverty, relative poverty, but they have become our donors. They gave $1 a day, $half a day, over and above the installment which they pay. So that also becomes the part of that revolving fund, which is raised by many other people. But these poor people have also now the desire to become a giver instead of taker. So instead of just be the beneficiaries, they are also now the part of the whole system. So borrowers becoming donors, that is, we consider our success, because Now, this is not only an attempt to reduce the individual poverty, but now it has become an attempt to build a society on the spirit of mutual support. Everybody should support the next, no matter how resources one has, but something we should share with others that will make this world a happy place to live in. This is just progress. I have already shared 6 million loans to around 4 million families, because few families, few people take second loan, third loan, fourth loan, just to grow, just to extend and expand their business. We have 872 branches throughout Pakistan, and 56% of the loans are utilized by male and 44% loans are utilized by female. Recovery percentage, I have already told you, and there are 4,000 staff which are working throughout Pakistan. And I have spoken for 20 minutes maybe, and during these 20 minutes, 20 loans have been given in Pakistan. So every minute, somebody gets the feeling that I'm not alone. There is somebody who is taking care of me. So this is the bond of solidarity which I mentioned, which is helping people to help themselves. We believe that poverty alleviation is a joint responsibility. Distribution of wealth is prerequisite. Some people say that there is scarcity of resources. With all due respect, at my command, I would like to differ from the economist's viewpoint that there is scarcity of resources. There is no scarcity of resources. There is unequal distribution of resources. So charity is not the answer. Friendship is the answer. Making somebody part of our family, helping somebody in need. Mawakhat, that again translates into solidarity and brotherhood. It is the revival of humanitarian belief in solidarity with the poor and goodwill of humanity. We derive inspiration from our faith, but our message is for all humankind. Absolutely, no distinction. We want to create a universal brotherhood. For example, if there are 8 billion people in this world, 4 billion are prosperous and 4 billion are lesser. So if for 4 billion, definitely there is a chance of making this world a better place. These are different kinds of businesses which these people do while taking loans from us. Some agriculture loans, livestock loans, small business loans. This is a small documentary which I will be happy to share, but this is not appropriate time because it will take 15 minutes. So there are some readings. Case studies have been written by Harvard University, by Oxford, by many other universities. Very critical examination and scrutiny, rather due diligence, that whether we are speaking the truth, because initially they were not willing to believe that in Pakistan, where poverty is so grave, the recovery percentage of these loans will be 99.9%. So these are some material written about Akhuwat. So that is the first part, which let me summarize, that providing financial access to the poor people to start a business, so that whatever they earn, they could send their children to school and they could buy a medicine. This is the abject poverty. The solution or the addressing abject poverty is providing somebody to start a small business. And the creativity we have added is that conventional microfinance charges 20% to 60% as interest, but we have learned from our faith and our society, from our tradition, from our history, that if I give a loan of $100 to my sister, I will not get back $110. I will get only $100. So why don't we think the poor people, our brothers and sisters? So that is, a creative approach we have added on in conventional microfinance, and so far we have been able to serve more than 4 million families. So this is part one. The part two is Akhuwat education services. We started thinking, as I will truly appreciate, you gave me another good sentence, that from surviving to thriving, to moving ahead in life, to really achieve something. So that thriving part is through education, tertiary education, university education. We have the model which says that get education today. Because in Pakistan, not only Pakistan, but anywhere in the world, the university education is very, very expensive. And the families may not be able to send their children, 2, 3, 4 children for getting higher education. So we again utilize the basic philosophy of solidarity and the Qarz-e-Hasan. This is a Qarz-e-Hasan model, or benevolent loan model, in a different scale. In the first stance, we give them for start of their business, and here for getting higher education. And then we empower the students. We don't get into any legal instrument or document that you have taken so much loan and you will pay it after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. No. Here again, there is a trust model. No documentation at all. We just give them this loan and expect and hope and believe that once they will be, get an employment, or they will be doing a business or doing something else, they will return that money. Because here we learn from our another tradition, that in our families, if a father or a mother or a family educate their sons and daughters, they don't get a legal instrument that once they will be big enough, they will return this money to their fathers and to the family. That's trust. So in this case, society is trusting them that once they will get education, they will reciprocate. They will return the money so that somebody else could get benefit out of this. So this is, again, let me repeat it, that this is not a vicious cycle we are creating. This is a virtuous cycle we are creating. Doing something good, he will do something good with somebody else, then that good might sometime will come back to me. So the real change will be through a virtuous cycle. So these are different colleges, just numbers. We have 1,000 students who are currently enrolled and 2,000 students who have graduated from these institutions. These are different. Akhuwat College, Kasur, then in Karachi, then in Faisalabad, then in Chakwal. This is exclusively for women. Then we are also running 600 schools in collaboration with the government of Punjab, government of Pakistan. So that is a governance model, because those schools were at far-flung areas and there was teacher absenteeism. Then number of students enrolled was much less. So we went to those areas, and through a process of participatory and community-driven development, we inspired the local community to send their children to schools. So these are schools which then we have established a center of excellence in information technology, and I'm seeking towards you to support us in that as well. So that is, the information technology and computer-related courses which we impart. And we have another program as well that we call Awake program. Some students get education in our institutions, but there are plenty of students who don't come to our institution because we don't have a space for them. So we have created an endowment fund, and all the yields from that endowment fund, we sponsor students who independently go to the best institutions in Pakistan. Some of the students have got admission even at Stanford and Harvard. So we are sponsoring them. Model is the same, that today we are sponsoring you because you don't have financial resources to sponsor your education. But you will one day come back and appreciate these things, that somebody helped me when I was in need. So you will also support somebody else. So this is all what I wanted to say. We are trying to create a world which provides opportunity to everybody, irrespective of any religion, caste, color. And then through these two means, these are the two initiatives or the programs. One is loans to fight against abject poverty, and one is make this world a better place through education. And let me repeat again, the world we have created is the outcome of our thinking. And something is wrong with our thinking, that what kind of this world we have created, where 5% have the 95% of the resources of this world, and 95% of the people have only 5% of resources. So it speaks the desire for a change. And that change, where everybody goes to school, everybody has medicine, and everybody has food at the end of the day at his or her table. So we can't change this world. I agree again, Auntie Catherine, unless we change our thinking. And that thinking is developing a bond of solidarity with the poor, not seeing them as beneficiaries, not seeing them as clients, and not giving them fish, but telling them how to fish, empowering them, making them self-reliant, returning the self-respect to them. So that is a different mindset, different approach, different philosophy. Without that, we cannot make this world a better place to live in. Thank you very much.